welcome to sunny Gibraltar here for the Inspire Sport Netball Europe U17 Challenge event at the Centenary Centre on International Women's Day. We will see some amazing netball from our 5 competing nations this weekend: host Gibraltar, Republic of Ireland, Switzerland, Malta and the Isle of Man. 10 games in 3 days brought to you live from the Rock. 60 amazing young athletes, but by Sunday there can only be one winner. There is a lot at stake here this weekend, as the team who emerges the overall winner will be promoted to the Netball Europe U17 Championship section next March to face England, Scotland, Wales and Emirates. So don't miss a minute of the action here all this weekend. I'm Lynn Carpenter and I'm delighted to be joined for the game today in the commentary box by Pip Cross, President of the Isle of Man. Pip, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Lynn.
Looking forward to the games this weekend?
Very much looking forward to it. It should be really exciting seeing how these players have developed since the championship, the challenge section in October.
And of course, one of the challenges for the under-17s and for all of you is you don't quite know what the talent is that's emerging from each of the countries, so it's almost starting with a blank piece of paper.
It is a blank piece of paper, and I think that's what's quite exciting about it, because yes, you can look at previous results, to see how you may fare. But again, it's totally new, and I think that's what makes it really exciting.
And we're delighted, of course, to be here in Gibraltar, one of the long-standing friends of Netball Europe. The court's looking fantastic, a clean court for an under-17 challenge. We shouldn't underestimate in the challenge section, particularly where all the teams rely on volunteers, there are no paid staff. To come out with the quality of a venue like this is pretty impressive.
Well, we came and saw it yesterday and had a little sort of preview, and it does look fantastic, really good. And single lines is just brilliant, isn't it?
It is, and of course we have a number of games for you here this weekend. Today, Friday 8th of March, as you can see on the screen. First up, Gibraltar against Malta, and then the Republic of Ireland take on Switzerland. Later on this afternoon, 4:30 local time, the Isle of Man takes on Malta, and the final game this evening, Gibraltar again against Switzerland. So huge amounts of netball. Thoughts on how this might go this weekend?
I think it's completely open, isn't it? And again, as you said earlier about everything to play for, because somebody will be promoted at the end of this. We already know who's going to come into this section. But yeah, I've got no idea how it's going to go. But I think that's again part of the excitement, isn't it? We'll see what happens in this first match.
And of course, you're very welcome to be here with us live streaming via our friends QTV Sports and Gib Media. As you can see, the teams are now taken to the court. So let me tell you, host side Gibraltar are starting with Truman Davis at goal shooter, Garrow at goal attack, wing attack is Zamet, their captain Hernandez at centre, Pozo wing defence, goal defence McQuiston and goalkeeper Hartman. And the coach of Gibraltar, one of their open players, Joel Marino. And let me welcome you to Malta for the first game this weekend. In a goal shooter is Gilia, De Bono goal attack, wing attack Vela, at centre Gaty, wing defence Mikolev, their captain Muscat at goal defence, and at goalkeeper Gilia. Their coach is Joyce Valadine. So we are shortly to get the game underway here in Gibraltar through our umpires. So our umpires today, Megan Samuel and Katie Howe. Our reserve umpire is Lynette Wall. And remember, if you'd like to get in touch with us this weekend, tweet us on #AnyUnder17 challenge, and Pip and I will do our best to read out your comments and keep you in touch with what's happened down here on the Rock. So Gibraltar keeping it competitive in there. Great shot. That'll settle the team's nerves down. Perhaps Pip.
Always important to get if you've got the centre pass to score on that first centre pass. Always important, as you say, to settle those nerves.
So host Gibraltar, their senior team just back from their bronze medal out in Singapore. Garrow. Great opening play by both teams. 1-1 here, Gibraltar-Malta. First game of 10 this weekend. Good pressure there by Gibraltar. Probably hear the crowd here clearly behind the home side.
I was just about to say there's a lot of enthusiasm here, which is just fantastic.
So Gibraltar take the early turnover, unforced error there. Gatey finding De Bono.
Oh, lucky.
So Hartman, Fernandez, and a welcome to all our team-white umpires here this weekend. I think all but one are having their first taste of international netball at this level.
Excellent.
Nice interplay by Whiston and Hartman. Ball. Unfortunate there by Kilia. So both teams just settling down here, Pitt finding their feet.
Some nice play going down the court there. Just going back to the umpires, it's great if they're here for their first time, because I'm sure they're as nervous as the players. I've done, lucky enough to done one NPL game many years ago, and I think I was more nervous than the players.
So great start here, competitive start by Gibraltar, taking an early lead, 4-1 against Malta.
Good chase.
Nice pick
good
up
chase
there. Gatey. Confident play down to Kilia. Probably just need to take some of those early shots. Gibraltar defence making it really difficult to get in there. Nice hands. Well read by McQuiston. So for many of these young players in all the sides this weekend, this will be their first taste of international netball. Great interception. Couldn't quite keep it on. Mikolev doing a good job at the back from Malta.
I suppose it's interesting to see how some of these players, or what they've, what competition they've had before this event, in terms of match play, match experience.
I think as we saw last weekend at the Netball Europe U17 Championship, those squads that have regular to-the-wire pressure games come into events like this with a slight advantage. But great shot there. Kilia pulling one back for Malta, 4-2. Their centre pass.
And again, first time possibly playing in front of a crowd. And a very enthusiastic crowd.
Unlucky there by Kilia. Yeah, we can hardly hear ourselves thinking.
I know.
Which is great.
Just think of that lovely turnover there as well. Oh, nice play, girls.
Lovely, well seen. Good interplay by goal attack goal shooter. Two options of the goal shooter, goal attack, read really well by Zamed at wing attack. So a really competitive game here, as we thought it might be by these two sides. And as we said in the introduction, the 5 teams this weekend are competing for a place in the Netball Europe Championship at under-17 level next year. And sadly, Northern Ireland did take the 5th place and will be relegated to this challenge section in March in a year's time.
I think that's what makes this event even all the more exciting, isn't it? Because you've got that relegation and promotion opportunity, and it just makes it all to play for.
So strong rebounding position-wise from Truman Davis. That will hurt Malta off their centre pass. So Gibraltar centre pass, 6-3 here, halfway through this first quarter of the first game of 10. How exciting!
I know. Now another turnover.
Nice use of the triangle at the top between Truman Davis and Zamet, showing good understanding at this level.
See if Malta can. Oh, unlucky.
So good reactions there by Vela. Malta possession. Just need to find the space. Look where the opposition are a little bit more, perhaps Malta.
Gibraltar just looking a little bit sharper in their attack, I think, at the moment. The speed of that turnaround was so really quite nice.
8-3, Gibraltar lead Malta. Nice shooting again by Truman Davis. And of course, while we've mentioned the umpires, we should also mention our UAPs, our umpire assessment panel. Judith Groves and Heather Gleadle here supporting netball development in the region.
A well-read goal defence. Oh dear.
Well done. Pozo up and running. I think we also know Pozo's sister, Amy Pozo, who played at under 17 and under 21 level and recently represented the open squad here in Gibraltar.
I think there's other names we recognise as well, either in different formats. There's obviously a lovely family connections.
10-3 Gibraltar. 5 minutes left now in this first quarter. Garrow's also represented Gibraltar in basketball.
There's always been that crossover, hasn't it, with with basketball, and it's interesting that for our open event in May that we've got a lot of volunteers from basketball.
Ah, well, maybe they'll be converted to the right sport pit.
Maybe. I'm working on it. But it is nice that then other sports will, are keen to support. Support each other, so that's really good.
Especially here on International Women's Day, I think these young players are setting the standard for role models for all young athletes in all the countries. And what an inspiration to play for your country on such an important day nationally. So I think we've got an injury here. Malta centre Gatey just indicating she needs to be subbed, so we'll get an update with that and bring you the new incoming player just shortly. So don't forget, if you would like to get in touch with us, hashtag #NE under17 challenge. Bit of a mouthful, but it will get to us. We look forward to hearing from you. Nat Pepperell, good to hear you're tuning in. Sorry you can't be with us this weekend, but certainly looking forward to you being here with us in the future.
Well picked up centre, nice long ball from the defending circle. Let's see if Malta can capitalise on that now they have possession.
So good court marking down there, all the way down to Gibraltar. Very
Goal
well
defence
read.
is reading this game really well.
Yeah, McQuiston having a very good game in here so far in these early stages of the tournament. She can play both ends of the court, so we may very well see her down shooting as well in this event. Unfortunately there, just a slight misunderstanding between wing defence and goal defence. And Truman Davis. Good shooting by Gibraltar.
Yeah, that's very solid, isn't it?
So Gibraltar taking a commanding lead here in this first quarter. 12-3 they lead Malta. Malta just need to perhaps settle into the game a little bit more.
I think so. I think
capitalise on the turnovers, because they are getting them.
One or two sort of handling errors, unfortunately, and but they've got possession again now.
So that is really good defence. Malta forced back. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky there by De Bono. Good interception and pressure. Offside called. Garrow creating good options, both of the goal shooters in there. Nice rotation.
There's lots of stuff. Are creating a lot of space coming down the court as well. So, and I think Malta's struggling to pick up on that at the moment.
13-3. It's interesting because you may have noticed Garrow and Truman Davis do a little hand kind of touch after the goal. I was talking to Maggie Jackson about it last weekend, as it seems to be an emerging theme.
And yeah, I noticed that, giving each other the congratulations and that support, and it is important, and just because there's a lot of pressure on in that part of the court. So
it's interesting because the converse side that some of the coaches have said to me is that if the goal attack and goal shooter are busy doing that, they're not marking the goal defence and putting pressure immediately back on the centre pass, or getting themselves ready for their own centre pass. So a couple of different views in there.
Yeah.
So So another fantastic attacking piece of play.
Crowd really behind the home team here.
As we head into the first break here in Gibraltar, the host Gibraltar have a lead over Malta, 14 goals to 3. You see the match bench officials, they're very important, our technical officials. So tell me a little bit about that quarter, Pip.
I think Gibraltar are sort of fairly dominant in that quarter, as the score will tell you. Malta are having some possession, but yeah, I think that they'll now be sort of chatting about how they come back a little bit now. Perhaps the nerves just playing a little part there.
So we saw that in the injury substitution. Malta brought on Gordis at centre. With such a big gap already, do you think the coaches will allow the Malta team to perhaps have another quarter just to try and get some consistency under their belt? There is that balance between changing things too quickly but allowing the players to actually play at this level.
Yeah, I think and looking at the bench at the moment, it looks like they're not making any changes, which is perhaps a good thing. Let them settle. Let the coaches work out who perhaps needs to start in each game, sort of thing. But yeah, perhaps they just need to consolidate this other quarter, and then maybe they can run their bench later on in the match or later on in the competition.
And I was talking to some of the coaches from some of the other sides last night, and we were reflecting on the fact that as well as getting to know your best players, you also have to know how well they start as a starting 7, if they perform better when they come on as a substitute, and there are some players who do one or the other, or sometimes both. And just for a coach, learning all of those different aspects of a player and how they respond to situations. For Malta, this could very well be the first time these players have played in a venue and under the pressure and under the added forensics view of social media like we're doing here.
And we've also talked about that as well, in terms of everybody is learning. So the coaches are learning, the team managers are learning, and what a great environment for that learning. And we're picking up things all the time in terms of what can we do better, what works well for us. Yeah, in terms of who you're putting on the court. Who and matching that, or who you're going to play against, and I know that the Alaman girls are going to come and watch the second game here, so they can sort of start to pick up on what the opposition is like, and again for the coaches who they might play as their starting 7. Not sure whether that's been decided just yet, but
Well, that's another decision. And again, do coaches name their starting 7 the night before, first thing in the morning, just before the game? There's a lot of choice out there. Coaches, yeah. I think sometimes we're all kind of sofa and armchair coaches ourselves, but actually in that situation there's a huge amount of variables to really think through and get right on behalf of every single player in your squad.
And again, it's all down to selecting that 12 in the first place, ahead of the competition, and that's a task. That's a task on its own as well.
So as you can see, the umpires are preparing to take us into the second quarter here at the Centenary Centre in Gibraltar. We will bring you the changes shortly. 14-3 the score. Malta centre pass. So Gould is starting the game.
Nice tip and early pressure.
And that back combination of McQuiston Hartman putting a lot of pressure on Malta. Could be disappointed with that unforced error, Gara. So, as you can see, if you're tuning in, Gibraltar have made a couple of early changes. They've brought on Perkins Gallen at wing attack, and wing defence Katie is on.
Free footwork calls here for Malta, unfortunately.
Great confident shooting by Garrow.
Really clean.
Very consistent so far. 15-3 the score. Good
well
hands.
played, goal defence, yeah, nice.
Muscat, the captain for Malta, reading that really well. Nice pick up by Hernandez.
Breaking call there for Malta, unfortunately.
I think if the coaches were to give their players some early advice, it would probably be around the enforced errors and possession. You hear coaches saying, look after the ball, and you kind of understand what that means in terms of not losing. They fought so hard for it. So, here come Malta. Good take by Gaty, who's now back on it. Gorgeous looking for Gaty. Oh, it's going to be over a third. Great interception and reading.
Both teams struggling to settle in this, the first few minutes of this quarter.
So the umpire was indicating that it was a Gibraltar throw-in, but it looked suspiciously like it was Gibraltar who stepped off the court. And the umpire, to be fair, indicated the correct way. Great pressure. So difficult when you have got that height in the circle that you're facing, perhaps for the first time for the Maltese girls.
They're reading the play so nicely.
So again, Truman Davis, confident in the circle. Gibraltar now leading Malta 17-3. Malta not to score so far this quarter. Well read, Hernandez.
Gibraltar certainly giving more options.
Nice play. 18-3. Malta need to be a little bit more clinical on the ball. Well played there. Muscat.
Oh, I thought that was going into the hands of the Malta centre. Unlucky.
Strong play, driving the front. Again, Garrow. I think over the years, we know Gibraltar have worked really hard on their strength and conditioning and their fitness. the physicality of these young players, perhaps showing the site more depth in their performance pathways than Malta have back home.
Yeah, and again, it's something that I'm aware that that some of the countries have embarked on, and I think historically we've only just, I say only just, it's not been too long that many players or many teams have been embarked on a strength and conditioning program, but we've certainly realised what a difference it makes to a player's performance.
Oh, better by Muscat and Chameleon in the defending circle for Malta. And remember, if you would like to get in touch with us, hashtag #AnyUnder17challenge. Dawson Redman is actually with us here in the arena in Gibraltar. Well, I'm hoping you're here, or you might be out and about enjoying the sunshine in Gibraltar, as Ireland aren't playing at the moment. But come down and certainly join in watching these games.
It's a shame because there's a bit more pressure on then in that Gibraltar circle then from the Malta defence, but they unfortunately conceded that goal.
21 plays 3 now. 8 minutes left in this quarter before we hit half time. Unfortunate.
Super defence.
So what can Malta do? Oh, unlucky. Probably just the wrong choice of pass at that particular moment in time.
Still got possession. Let's hope.
You can see the umpire rightly pulling the wing attack for offside. She had 1 foot behind the line, behind the circle, and of course it's a wing attack. That's perhaps that lack of experience at this level by some of these Malta players. But they've done well to win it back again. Outside the circle. Well done, not making the same mistake. I think that the height and the strength of McQuiston and Hartman in that goal defence, goalkeeper for Gibraltar, really making it difficult for Killer and De Bono in the circle for Malta. Nice.
Oh, lovely.
That change of direction, creating space under the post. Truman Davis.
And height and agility has got, plays such an important part.
20.
Sorry, go on. No. I was going to say, having said that, I've seen some very, very skillful, shorter players playing in the attacking circles.
Good understanding again. Gibraltar 24 and Malta still to score in this quarter.
It's a shame, they did make quite a promising start.
Oh, unfortunate there. That balance between pulling the contact and playing the advantage.
Oh, here
That's
we go.
great. Come on, De Bono.
Oh. Got a penalty.
So can Kilia put it in? Yes,
well
great
played.
stuff. 24-4.
That'll make them feel a bit better. And
so Hernandez coming off for Gibraltar.
lots of encouragement for that, for the new centre coming on.
The support for netball here in Gibraltar by the government, the ministers, is just fantastic.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
We're grateful as Netball Europe for the support. Of course, Gibraltar have their own ambitions to host more international events here. There is talk of them thinking about the potential bids for the Netball World Youth Cup in the future.
That would be amazing. You know, but they're proving today that they can do that. You know, they're showcasing that as a lovely shot from Malta. But yeah, these facilities are brilliant for this type of for that type of event, and if they've got the infrastructure to support that behind that, then wish them well in that bid. Oh, look, a little flurry of goals now there Malta have.
So 3 goals in a flurry, 24 plays 6. That'll give them a bit more confidence, Pip.
I think so, yes.
So what can they do? There you go.
Definitely, there you go. We've seen that confidence already. And that nice fly.
Great intercepting by their captain Muscat at goal defence. Get the turnover. Ooh, long hands there of Hartman. Lovely. Into De Bona. Oh, unlucky. You see the Gibraltar crowd just sensing the change in the match to Malta and upping the volume a bit here in the Centenary Centre. Opportunity for Malta now. Unforced error.
Offside call there. Presumably wing, think it might have been the wing defence.
They've kept possession. Kilia, unlucky. So 25 plays 6. Great interception by Camilla. Malta. We're into the last 2 minutes until half-time.
Contact call, unfortunately, there for Malta.
So, row centre for Gibraltar now. When Malta get their timing, their vision right, they bring the ball down really effectively. Strong positioning and rebound by Hartman.
Yeah. Rebounding's tough in that. I think the umpire telling the players that they can go offside to collect that ball if they want to.
I think there's no better safe than sorry.
Yeah, that she was certainly playing that.
I'm not going to get called out again.
Yeah.
So 20 seconds left. And they get another goal here before we head into half-time.
The crowd. We've only got a few seconds to go.
And there we go. Crowd making sure the umpires are aware of the timing. And of course, it's down to their timing of the game. But a good and interesting first quarter here at the Netball Europe U17 Challenge event this weekend. Gibraltar are in a very strong position after 30 minutes. They lead Malta 25-6. So, if you were the coach on each of the two benches, what would your approach be now, Pip?
For Malta, I think they had that nice little flurry of play, good little flurry of play towards the end of that second quarter. Again, proving that they can compete at this level, sort of thing. So again, Gibraltar very strong. I'm sure they're just sort of saying, much of the same. Keep that level of play going. But hopefully Malta are still, are still enjoying it. They've obviously very able of competing out there. So, and again, that little flurry of goals was great.
So, and each of the teams over 3 days playing 4 games. So there is a match-up on every day where somebody will play twice.
Yeah.
So a big ask of these players at that level. Let's just bring you some of the replays now, and we will join back in a minute, and we'll be welcoming Moira Gomez, who is president of Gibraltar, into the commentary box.
Nice interplay by Twisted and Hartner, like this with a slight advantage, but great shot there. Hillier, nice play, girls. Lovely, well seen. Good interplay by goal attack, goal shooter. Nice. 2 options of the goal shooter, goal attack. Read really well by Zamed. It's just looking a little bit sharper in their attack, I think, at the moment.
So, welcome Moira Gomez, President of Gibraltar. How are you feeling today now the tournament's underway and all the preparation has been done?
I'm starting to relax now.
You say that every year.
Starting.
So, Gibraltar doing really well in this game?
Yes. A bit shaky at the start, and I think that's normal because it's obviously for some of them their first international competition, and then they've just started to get their game together, more solid in defense, a better transition of the ball up the court, and converted them into goals. So it's really good.
Yeah, and of course here in Gibraltar again, we were here last year. You were very fortunate. You've managed to put a lot of very good pressure on the government here in Gibraltar to really support netball and development.
That's correct. We tend to call it persuasion skills, not pressure. We are extremely lucky to have such support from the government, the Minister for Sport, Mr. Stephen Linares, and everyone at GSLA to make this event successful.
And what does it mean for a country like Gibraltar to host international events?
It shows what we're capable of. Even if we are tiny, we're really mighty. And it also shows what a lovely country we have. The warmth and welcome from everyone here on the Rock, I think, is second to none. I'm not trying to be biased. And yes, it shows who we are, what we can do, and how much one can achieve if you set your mind to it.
And of course, there's a slight different angle to the competition this year. The team who does win will get promotion, as Emirates did last year, into the Netball Europe U17 Championships. So Gibraltar, in your performance so far, must be feeling that is an opportunity.
Well, we have different mindsets with that. One is the opportunity that there is now a pathway where we can actually improve ourselves, better ourselves, and join it to our senior squad. The other one is are we ready? But that means that we will look into it, better planning, and get the girls to have a look at what they're looking for. And one of that is one of the camps we're going to hold with our younger ones at St. Andrews. and they are going to be exposed to what would be a competition, but not actually a competition. So it's strength and conditioning, nutrition, all of that.
So we've talked a little bit here already in the comms about the performance pathways that each country has and how important that is and what difference it makes. Well, Moira, we're delighted to be here in Gibraltar as always. It is a warm welcome, both from the sun, as you know, and from the warmth of everybody who we meet at Gibraltar Netball Association. So thank you for hosting this weekend, and we look forward to seeing Gibraltar throughout this competition. Thank you.
Thank you. We love having you.
So as you can see there, the teams just beginning to get ready to retake the court. Gibraltar leading 25-6 against Malta. Lots of netball to come here this weekend, so don't go too far. After the game, feel free to make yourself a quick cup of tea, but be back here at 11:30 for Ireland against Switzerland, which will be a really strong game again. So we will shortly be starting the second half of the first game here this weekend at the Netball Europe U17 Challenge event. Gibraltar lead Malta 25-6, and I will bring you all the substitutions that have been made. The teams have run the changes. So goal attack for Gibraltar is now Perkis Gallen, Griffin on at wing attack, Zamet at centre, Pozo back on at wing defence, and Mina on now for goalkeeper at Gibraltar. For Malta, we see Baldacchino come on at goal shooter, Kilia move to goal attack, and we think the rest of the team is as it is. So let's rejoin the game. Pip, the team, in particular Gibraltar, really run the changes at half time.
Yeah, I think they've got sort of quite a commanding lead now, so probably giving an early opportunity to run their bench. Or try some different play combinations. But yeah, and
So
with that lead, they can probably obviously afford to do so. And again, interesting that there's a slight change in the shooting combination for Malta, so maybe that will give them a bit more of a boost.
And worth remembering that all of these players at under 17 level are clearly young athletes, 14, 15, 16 years of age.
And I think, again, if they're starting them at 13, 14, they've got 3-4 years at this competition, which is just great. It's just great for them. And yeah, some of them are playing for the first time. But some countries might only get the opportunity to play once then before they move up into a different age group. So playing them so young is just great for their experience and their learning.
Oh, well read there by Muscat, but picked up well by Kilia, who's now out at goal attack with Baldacchino, with Perkis Gallen, sorry. Time to get the ball back. Good baseline cut by Baldacchino.
Oh, and a nice baseline drive. Lovely.
Give Killia and Baldacchino some confidence in there. Malta now 7, Gibraltar 26. Good shot there by Truman Davis.
I think we said earlier the shooting, the confidence that they've got in that shooting circle is very prevalent.
And despite their height advantage, they are using the front drive a huge amount, creating options in the rotation working well for them. And here she goes again. 28-7. Held on to that. That didn't quite.
Nice. Yeah, 3 second call. Unfortunately, I think their players are not always visible for Malta.
Good hands there, Amelia. The umpire judged foot on the line, rather up to the line. Sam Bird was in commentary last week, who listeners and viewers will know is not only an ex-England player but really good coach. She's coaching Seven Stars, one of the Super League teams in England at the moment. She was saying that even now, the level of player she has, she drills them every single time they turn up on the basic skills, because you've got to get them right in training to expect them to be able to do this in a match.
Absolutely, and we sort of always talk about, you know, fundamentals at the you know, at the younger level as well, but so important because the umpires are pretty sharp these days, aren't they? You know.
Killia.
Oh, that's lovely.
So Malta on 8. Gibraltar 28. So Malta aren't letting that 20-goal gap get any bigger. They're fighting back, which is good to see.
Yep. Oh.
They're seeing the ball, they're seeing the space, but the timing of the pass and the awareness of where the player actually is and their body control perhaps just isn't quite right at the moment for Malta. No. But turnover back to them.
Contact call on the circle edge. Replayed ball.
So both these teams have got a busy day today. Malta are back on court at 4:30 today against the Isle of Man. So you'll be watching with interest that game.
Absolutely, yeah, very, very much so. And again, you know, we just can't wait to be given these opportunities, and it's still sort of like relatively new in terms of membership of at Netball Europe, but you know, I'm still sort of excited about the opportunities that it's given us, really, you know.
Well, I've been in netball 42 years and I'm still excited every time I come to an event. I think once you're a netballer, you're kind of hooked for life, which is a brilliant community to be involved in. And particularly on International Women's Day, there are so many women I've had the opportunity to follow through netball and who've been absolute role models to me. And some of the players we were talking to last weekend were saying about the life skills it gives you involved in sport like this, even as a volunteer, beyond anything you can get in normal life, which then enables you to be successful. We can't underestimate that impact.
One of the huge things for us is how the girls have bonded, or how they do bond when they come to these competitions. In that they're all playing in different clubs back at home, and yes, they know one another, but they're sort of rivals to a nice extent on the court when they're playing, and then they come and are involved in this competition. And the bonding is just fabulous, even if that's putting plaits in each other's hair, or or just that that fabulous camaraderie. And one of the things we noticed, particularly from the 17 challenge in October, was how that bonding has been maintained. So yes, they've gone back to their clubs back at home, but they're still in touch all the time, and new friendships strong friendships have been formed, and I just think that is fabulous. And again, we've seen that across all of our squads, in our seniors, in our under-19s, 21s, and at this level, and at 17 level as well.
So Procus Gallen there for Gibraltar, left-handed player, playing itself into the game here. Gibraltar 30, Malta 29. And actually, so far, a better quarter for Malta.
Definitely, yes. I think that shooting combination is helping.
So with only just over 6 minutes to go on the clock, those interesting substitutions at half-time have meant that in this quarter, Gibraltar have got a 6-3 lead, so much closer, much better play by Malta.
Much better play, and again, possibly to do with some of those substitutions for Gibraltar. Maybe they just need to settle in.
Well read there by Truman Davis. And of course, if Malta haven't had the opportunity to play at this level, their coaching staff won't necessarily know exactly how they're going to play. So the coaches have reacted to what was happening, and the combination seemed to be working for them.
Very much so. And again, they'll learn on that. They'll learn from all of that as the competition develops.
So 32 plays 9 here. 5 minutes left of this quarter. Again, good hands, real good pressure there by Camilla in that circle for Malta. Malta from the dead ball situation. Where's their options? Good drive, top of the circle. Kilio will get a penalty. Good passage of play, 33-10. So remember, to all those netball fans out there, if you are having to work today, take your iPad with you, tune into live streaming. It looks like you're doing a good day's work. In actual fact, you'll be watching 4 international netball games today.
I think there is quite a bit of that goes on. With the volume down. Yeah. Why would they want to miss out?
Exactly. So Gibraltar, the hosts, will be back on court this evening at 6:30 to play Switzerland. So 4 great matches to bring you today live through our live stream, Netball Europe, YouTube, Twitter or Facebook. Thanks, of course, as always, to our sponsors Inspire Sport, QTV Sports and Jib Media for this weekend. Good position in Baldacchino.
Yeah, lucky a footwork call there. Not quite the
Needed
split
to step
landing.
back rather than in.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Pozo. Quiston's had a good game at goal defence for Gibraltar.
Unusual miscommunication there from Gibraltar.
Yeah, that was an offside at the top
it's
of the
offside.
circle there. Nice little movement by Gaty at wing attack. Go for Malta. Pick up. Unlucky. Right idea by Kilio. Lovely feed into
Nice
the
strong,
circle there
nice
by
strong
Griffin.
ball in.
35 now plays 10. We're into the last 2 minutes here until three-quarter time.
Offside wing attack, trying to push that ball in. I think the movement is certainly a little bit better now from
The letting the
Malta.
ball go a little bit quicker. Their timing in the movement is better. They're giving options forward and back, deep and short. Oh, unfortunate, another footwork call. Griffin looking to find Turkish Gallon. Well read. Good pressure there by Malta defence. Nice, quick transition down the court. Much better for them. So they can get a shot away. Lovely.
Oh, well read, nice. Lovely movement.
Throw in to Malta. Let's see if Kilia can score on this one.
Oh, what a shame! They
lucky.
worked hard. They worked hard for that.
Sometimes those close balls are the hardest shots for shooters. When that pressure is on, everyone expects you to score them.
I know.
There we go, the crowd helping with the timing here. This is brilliant. And that is how you close out the game confidently on behalf of your team. So the score here in Gibraltar is Gibraltar leading 36 against Malta's 10. Better quarter, probably Malta's best quarter there.
I think
4
so.
goals scored. Could have had a few more, just a few unforced errors.
Yeah, they should take some confidence from that as well. And as you say, you know, much better quarter for them. And if they can consolidate that in the final quarter, then that'll give them some more confidence going into the other matches that they play later on today.
So if you're watching and want to send us a message, you can do that using our hashtag NEUnder17challenge. Send Pip and I your thoughts on the game, the weekend, what you're hoping to see, and we will read out those messages and thank you for being involved here. So an exciting game so far, Pip. Gibraltar clearly dominant at this stage. So looking forward to the next game, Ireland versus Switzerland. What do we expect to see in that?
Again, it's quite unknown, isn't it? Again, some of these players will come out, be having their first cap for both countries. I just think it's fascinating just to see how the whole tournament will develop. Really excited to watch that, you know, and take on board what we're going to face as the Isle of Man a little bit later on.
And of course, at this level in international netball, there are no world rankings. Countries go on the ranking of their open side. And if you look at the teams we have here, at the moment in the latest INF rankings, Ireland ranked 20, Gibraltar 31, Switzerland 38. Yourself are not yet ranked because you haven't played enough international matches at open level to qualify, but when you host in May, that will give you the matches you need. The same with our other new country in the region, Emirates, and Malta still need to get some more games under their belt at that open level.
And that's one of the things that, again, is sort of trying to work out where we might go in at those rankings. But again, because we'll get 6 games under our belt in May, so we'll have the requisite number to achieve that world ranking. I can't tell you how excited I am about that. You know, when we first joined, that was one of our targets. You know, to get a world ranking, and within 2 years, we're going to have one. And you know, and at home, that's creating quite a lot of interest as well. You know, because there aren't many other sports who are playing at international level. And that's one of the hardest things I'm trying to get across, is that these are international matches, they are ranked matches, sort of thing. But I think once we've hosted that event in May, then that's going to change. I'm determined it's going to change.
I don't think anyone can doubt the Moira talked about persuasion rather than pressure, and I think both of you are very compelling in your persuasion of people to support our great sport. So wish you very much all the best in that.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, really looking forward to hosting that event and coming to these events. Again, that's all part of our learning and understanding of it and how they work and what we need to provide and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, can't wait. Really excited. And you did tell me it was only 7 weeks, which is rather nerve-wracking at the same time.
And it's 21 games in 4 days.
Yeah,
which is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
We can do it.
So here we go. This is the start of the 4th quarter, Gibraltar against Malta. Our first game here this weekend at the Netball Europe U17 Challenge event. Pozo making a really strong interception on the first centre pass for Malta. 36-10. Good hands there by Camilla again, spoiling the attack for Gibraltar.
Oh, well weighted. That was a really nice passage of play down the court.
Rebound by Baldacchino. Good strong play by Griffin. Here come Gibraltar again.
Lovely feed and conversion. Still have some possession. That was quite a long range shot. We've tipped out by the defence, and we've got a penalty.
So Hillier for Malta takes their score now to 11. Gibraltar 38. And as you can see, Gibraltar have run the changes at 3/4 time. Garrow on a goal attack, roll back as wing attack, Pozo now at centre, Mina at goal defence, and Hartman back at goalkeeper.
Oh, well played, Malta.
Tainer there at Windy for Gibraltar. Baldacchino couldn't quite keep that ball in. Interception there by Mikolev. Now in its centre. Good hands. Camilia's been really strong in there all game for Malta.
It's almost like that. It's like that final passage of play, isn't it? Because they're getting it through the court and then but just not being able to finish it off sometimes.
Tainer will take that for Gibraltar. Well read by Mikolev. Just the ball selection now, the vision is perhaps not quite as sharp as it was for both teams earlier on in this match. Malta fought that well.
Yeah, as I say, it's just that finishing off.
Oop, Daisy. Pozo's fine. She gets, walks it off.
Ooh.
So last 10 minutes now of this match. 38-11, Gibraltar leading Malta.
Offside call, so possession now for Malta.
Lovely shot.
It always looked like that was going in. Lovely.
Kilia, good timing. 12-38. Pozo is taken to the court. Maybe that knock was a little bit greater than we thought.
Yeah, I think she was. Yeah.
It's Hernandez back on at centre for Gibraltar. Lovely passage of play. That's better by Malta. 38-13.
Certainly slowed down the scoring with Gibraltar.
Pressure on the ball down the court. The umpire just explaining the wing defence is out of the game, can't take part. In case of any doubt, lovely play by Baldacchino finding Kilia. Oh, it's unfortunate. Good strong rebound by Hartmann for Gibraltar. That consistency of the shooting is one of the differences between these two sides today. Malta are working really hard to create the opportunities, but sometimes just not falling for the shooters. And we know that these internationally posts are quite challenging. They're unforgiving.
Yeah, and one of the things that fortunately we took some advice on. Some time ago that it's very different. We get the opportunity to keep putting those shots up.
So Kilia with a penalty battle shot. Oh, just A little bit too much. Hernandez finding Garrow. Back on now in this last quarter. Even the ball placement from Gibraltar might be one of the features of the feedback to the players. They're just not quite putting it away from the fairly effective arms of Malta.
I think so, and I think it's Malta certainly making them work a little bit harder now, putting a little bit more pressure on. And the transition, Malta's transition down the court is so much more improved through this match. As you say, it's just unlucky if those shots aren't falling for them sometimes. Let's hope this one goes in.
Yeah, pop it in, that's great, 39-14. Gibraltar working hard to give the ball carrier 2 options.
Again, a bit of pressure there from...
Yeah, Camelia really been effective today. Good hands by Rowe. Some clean ball up the court. Footwork called. A bit of a shuffle there. 39-14, 25 goals the difference. 5 minutes left here. And please, if you are watching at home, get in touch with us. Use our hashtag NEUnder17 challenge. We'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on these games as the weekend develops. So again, very strong by Truman Davis in there.
Nice tip. Lovely.
Well read by Hartman.
Yeah.
And as we know at Netball Europe events, there is always a player of the tournament named at the end during the presentation, and the way it works is that the coach of the opposing team nominates the player of the opposition who they feel played the best in that game. All the nominations go to the appeals panel. And at the end of the tournament, the player that emerges with the most votes will be named player of the tournament. So 41 plays 14. 3.5 minutes to go, and as we know, 3.5 minutes in netball is a long time.
It is a long time, yeah, lots of goals. And I think, you know, we saw in the end of that last quarter, you know, a goal in the last few seconds, and we saw a lot of that last weekend at the championships. You know, last minute Commonwealth Games, Commonwealth Games moments, dying seconds.
So there was one of those in the first game of the weekend last year when Northern Ireland played Emirates. It went down to the wire, 4-3 all. Interception, Emirates into their shooting circle. As the whistle went for full time, penalty passes shot, and that, as they say, was the difference between both of those teams staying up or getting relegated.
Yeah. And you know, and it, as you say, it's sort of like one goal, and it's just so important.
Unlucky
but,
there.
You know, all credit to Emirates on that occasion. You know, for keeping calm under pressure, and making sure that they stayed on. But yeah, it was definitely a Commonwealth Games moment, that one was. And I think it's lovely that you can compare it to that.
Well, it is for these athletes.
Yeah,
That is exactly what it is. That's their Commonwealth Games moment.
It is.
So just under 2 to go, 42-14. We have a substitution coming on for injury for Gibraltar. MC pass or shot. Good rebound. In there for Malta. Now, 1.5 to go. Can they score again? Interestingly, that neither bench are holding up the times for the players at this moment in time, whereas last weekend every single team were doing that. So the differences of learning about being at this international level from a bench perspective as well, really interesting. Okay, nice choice. Ardekino, lovely. So a stronger half so far from Malta. They've scored 9 this half, 6 in the first. So here we are, definitely into the last minute. 42-15. Good fight in there for the ball. On Malta's way. So 15 seconds left on the clock here.
Come on, Malta, let's get it down.
See what they can do. And we know it's getting close because the crowd are telling us it is.
Malta's still got turned over. Fabulous.
And as we can see, the Gibraltar crowd are extremely pleased that the hosts here this weekend have got off to a really strong start. Gibraltar have finished this game 42 against Malta's 15. Pip, thoughts on the game?
I thought really good, really enjoyed that. Enjoyed sitting here with you, Lynn.
Of course you will.
Yeah, of course I will. But yeah, it's fabulous. Having this opportunity, seeing the girls. And that was a really good game. You know, perhaps Malta might be slightly disappointed with that score. Hopefully Gibraltar will be, you know, very pleased with their performance. But I think both teams, competed really well. Really enjoyed it.
So the teams will be shortly doing off to do their recovery. The lovely ice bath that all the athletes look forward to so much at this stage. So stay with us, by all means. Go and get yourself a quick break, quick cup of tea. We will be back at 11:30 where we see the Republic of Ireland taking on Switzerland. Events of this nature, as we all know, don't just happen. So I'd love to give my thanks to Netball Europe, Inspire Sport, the Gibraltar Netball Association, our partners QTV Sports and Gib Media, and of course every single volunteer who contributes so many hours either at an event like this or elsewhere, which enables us all to deliver netball. So we're back at 11:30. See you then. Thank you for tuning in this morning here at the Centenary Centre in Gibraltar.
Oh, that's lovely. So, who've been absolute role models to me. And some of the players we were talking to last weekend were saying about the life skills it gives you involved in sport like this, even as a volunteer, beyond anything you can get, exactly how they're going to play. So the coaches have reacted to what was happening, and the combination seemed to be working for them. very much so. And again, they'll learn on that. They'll learn from all of that. Killia will get a penalty. Good passage of play. Lovely feed into the circle there by strong Griffin. Lovely feed and conversion. Lovely shot. It's always looked like that was the effective arms of Malta. I think so.